Hey everybody, Peter Vaughn with Breaking Games, and welcome to the Rise of Tribes Beasts and Bronze Kickstarter. We're so glad you're here. There's only a couple hours to go, so let's get right down to it. If you're brand new to Rise of Tribes, welcome. This is a great game. It's highly reviewed, it's well respected on BGG. It's a really unique dice pushing mechanism and set in a Civ game that only lasts an hour. Now, if you want to find out how to play, there's a video that I recorded about halfway down the page after the tiers, which teaches you Rise of Tribes in 2 minutes. So check that out. Now, if you're used to Rise of Tribes, you know all about it, but you're like, what is this expansion? I didn't know about this. There's actually 3 modes to talk about here. There's the Beast deck, which is all new events that are going to change up the game, and there's a lot of custom meeples, there's new movement, there's a lot of fun stuff in there. There's Bronze Age, which is a whole new way to win. You don't even need points. Mike DeLisio at the Dice Tower says nicely that he would never play this game without that mode. It's that good. It's competitive, and everybody in the game can choose which mode they want to play at all times. You can pivot. And then the last thing to talk about is solo mode, which also comes with our 9th tribe, the Volcath. Now, solo mode on this campaign, we've offered a free download, so you can try it out. That's only until the campaign ends, though. So solo mode is a really interesting take on playing what I think is essentially a 2-player game, but with a competitive AI that uses warlords that you get to choose their powers. Brad Brooks designed that as well, and we're offering that with the 9th tribe. Now, some of you are saying, well, I'll just get Rise of Tribes in retail, which is fine. Rise of Tribes does go to stores. In fact, it's in Walmart. It's been one of the top sellers. It's been reordered, and it is available in some markets already. And we're encouraging you, if you can get Rise of Tribes, do get it. Do get it through those channels. It might be cheaper. But what we're offering on this Kickstarter is the deluxe edition, which sometimes has been rarer to get. We're packaging the deluxe edition inside the regular edition and calling that the Mammoth edition. That's the same exact set of Kickstarter goodies from the original campaign. So if you are in a country where you can't get Rise of Tribes, or you know how hard it is to get it in your distribution centers, we are in fact offering the original game as well. As far as the expansion goes and its availability, Beasts and Bronze will probably be in stores. The thing that is unique about this is that the bonus tiles that we're offering may not be. So we are offering those 3 new tiles, which add a lot of modularity, and they're free on this Kickstarter. Stretch goals already included. I don't know whether or not those tiles are going to be in retail or distribution, or if they'll be on our site. They may be on our site, limited edition, and you could buy them there. But on this campaign, they're free. And the last thing, of course, is the solo mode. We don't know if that's also going to be out there in distribution. That means the 9th tribe may be a rare tribe. So that's what we're saying. This Kickstarter has a couple of those things you want to pay attention to. If you want to get in, this is the time, for sure. Now, some of you are asking, can I back for $1 and still get it? Yes, the Pledge Manager will let you in. If you back $1 and support this campaign, then you have full access to the exact same deal in the Pledge Manager, and we welcome you. Now let's talk about the contest, which is another way to get Rise of Tribes. We are doing a contest until the final hours of this Kickstarter, and that is to win 1 Breaking Games title of your choice, plus this awesome dice tray. This is a custom limited edition wooden dice tray from Dogmite, made on the original Kickstarter. We offered 1 to people who tried out the solo mode, and this is the second one, which will be available to anyone who goes on social media and shouts out the name of a Breaking Games title that they would like to win and this campaign. So for example, you could say, I love worker placement. Asking for Troubles plays 7 players. That's awesome. Or you could say, when's that expansion to Letter Tycoon coming out? Now be sure to tag Breaking Games and to mention this Kickstarter, or we won't know that that's for the entry in this contest. So you got to tell us you're out there. But if you name, one of our titles, Expansity, Sparkle Kitty, Circular Reasoning, whatever you'd like, you can win this dice tray and that game. We'll have that contest going all the way until the final moment of this Kickstarter, just for some fun. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is I am going to I had an interview with a teacher in Italy who's formed a company called Meeple Music, and she composes scores for board games. Now, ironically, she doesn't actually like to play music while she's playing a game, so I find that funny. But she does like to get into the spirit of a game and figure out what would be the score. And for Rise of Tribes, she was so inspired, she made a soundtrack for all of the tribes. So, for example, even the Volketh now have a soundtrack, and I'd like you to listen to that. And here's that interview with her. Special guest into our Rise of Tribes updates. We have Veronica from Meeple Music.
Hi, everyone.
And what's really special about this is that, well, first of all, I met Veronica via another fantastic publisher in the board game industry, Gonzalo Aguirre BC, who is Thundergriff Games. And I have a lot of Thundergriff games. And in fact, Tangarden, I'm so excited to get that one finally open. And how do you know Gonzalo? You want to tell everybody?
We met actually at a gaming night. And I think a month later, he asked me to do Tangarden's soundtrack.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. The job came before everything else.
That's exciting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, is Rise of Tribes scoring like your first? But no, look, okay, so you started by doing that.
Yes. Yeah, I did.
And did you then form Meeple Music at that point, or how did it work after that?
Oh no, actually, it was just like something that I wasn't sure of because I haven't did it ever. So Meeple Music came after when I had I think 10 or 12 tracks and figured out that could be useful to put them on the internet, on YouTube, and I didn't want my name on them. I just wanted to create a new project named Meeple Music.
Well, it's very fun. We're going to link Meeple Music on this update, but let's talk about, so from my perspective, I just knew that after Rise of Tribes finished, first campaign finished, Gonzalo told me that you were very inspired by the game, that
Yeah.
it moved you to make that music. So what is it about the game that moved you to do that?
Actually, I think I made some tracks before playing the game because I was very inspired by the artwork. And I really liked the tribes, and I really wanted to do some music like with an Afro feel, so to speak. And I really was inspired by the artwork that I found very different. And I don't know if in music I think that sometimes you watch something and you hear the music inside your head, and so that was what happened when I first saw Rise of Tribes.
That's really exciting. I mean, I know that Sergio, who illustrated all that, would be very excited because he had something in his head. Obviously, you know, those were created out of scratch, and so it's really exciting to hear that same thing carried forward. You know. Do you remember what tribe you started with?
Yeah, of course. The Kia.
Ah, the Kia, the purple.
Yes.
She's she's a great warrior, you know, and it's such a vibrant sky and setting.
Yeah, I imagined the sort of a dusk and tried preparing to go on a battle.
Yeah, that was actually Sergio's last one. We had 2 stretch goals, and the Kia was one of the stretch goals. So I'm really glad we ended up making that tribe. And then the one that I remember hearing, or we played it as an update on the first Kickstarter, was the Tunga, the one where, you know, she's in the ice, sort of the Northern Lights, and it's just a very green board. So what were you thinking with that one?
Well, it's I thought about I think the name is Inuit people that live up in the north, and they when men are away from the village, women have this sort of a songs that they sing to each other, while waiting for the man to come back, and it's really beautiful. But I now I don't remember the name of the song, but it's really famous around there.
Oh, that's really great. That's so interesting. The exciting thing for this Kickstarter is that you also you saw the Volketh, got inspired by the Volketh, so there's a Volketh score now, which is fantastic.
Maybe I can show you the whole
Yeah,
thing. Can you see it?
I can.
Okay, so these are all the instruments that are inside. So the red ones are the voices, and then there are some pads and metallic sounds. Then we have this orange that are percussions, and the yellow ones are the strings, and the green ones here are the French horns. It's right here, so you can see it. But the other ones are in Italian.
So when you're recording these, do you have to have played the game before, or do you, like you said, you were inspired by art? I don't know that you had played Rise of Tribes when you first did it. So do you need to play the game, or does playing the game help at all, or how does that?
Yes, it does. Even if I don't listen to music when I play because it distracts me, so it helps me to understand the vibe of the game, because sometimes there are games that are more cutthroat, and you have to bring people to feel that, and other games that are more relaxed. And so yeah, it definitely helps.
So, so what I got out of that, what I heard you say is that you like to hear music while you're playing games, right?
Yeah, I don't.
You don't listen to music while you're playing a game, so that you can let the music come into your head, right?
Yeah, and also I get really distracted from what I'm doing if I listen to music. So
Yeah. It's
in
interesting that you
everything I
say
do.
It's
Sorry.
interesting that you say that because I made a soundtrack for Rise of Tribes before we had your score. We made a soundtrack and we posted it on the Kickstarter so that people could play that during their game night. But I will say that sometimes I'll put on a soundtrack during game night and everyone will ask me to turn it off because they can't think of their
Focus. Yes, I totally relate.
yeah.
But anyway, my friends love when they listen to music while they play, and also you can listen to music without playing and remember the game when you're doing something else. Maybe you're driving and you're listening to the track, and I don't know, I think
Yeah.
it's fun.
Well, it's great to have these evocations for our characters. We really are excited by it. Let's let's see what else let's see. You mentioned that you're very interested in music psychology and how people react to music. So could you talk about that a little bit?
Well, it's a pretty big topic.
Sure.
um, well, I mainly work as a teacher, a music teacher, so I focus more on the psychology, music psychology in early age. And the most interesting thing is that you mainly learn everything during your first 3 years of your life. And so everything you don't learn, it's gone. And so for every person that sings out of tune, it's probably because they weren't exposed uh, to music environments. And so I think that it's really, really, really important uh, to play with music with kids, not only listening but playing. because it creates a really strong bond between an adult and a kid, and they even don't have to talk. It's another language.
Harder, I guess, being a teacher and having the kids, separate. But the nice thing about music is music crosses over all distances, right? So it's wonderful to have that to share in this time, right?
Yeah, even if I cannot have lessons on Zoom, so
Yeah. And we're so excited to have, whether you listen to the Rise of Tribes soundtrack while you play or not, if you keep your Rise of Tribes soundtrack for just those other moments, we're really excited to have that from you. And we're super supportive of Meeple Music.
thank you so much.
If anybody wants to support Meeple Music, I'll have the link below, but you can say where to go.
Yeah, it's just meeplemusic.com.
Excellent. And that's where you get all of your super game, your scores for a lot of fun games.
Yeah.
Can people like submit requests? Like, I think you should play this game so that we can have a score for that.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously, we'll look to have all of our Thundergriff soundtracks that way as well. Pass on the hello to Gonzalo, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, and good luck for the rest of the days.